I'm coming in hot.
What is up, guys? Back with another episode of Coming In Hot, episode 2 with Adam and Spencer. We got a good podcast for you guys today. Got some good topics we're going to hit on. I'm excited about it. Got some good, we're going to hit on some good stuff.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys for tuning in for that first episode. A couple views on YouTube. We're just getting started, guys. So, stay tuned. Each week we should be dropping a new episode.
Yes, sir.
So, stay with us on that. And each time, give us feedback. If it's in our comments on our YouTube page, give us feedback. What we can do better. What we can, change up. But we do have a nice little podcast today. And let's get started.
Definitely. So my first topic I want to hit on today is have any of you watched the Combine lately in the last few days?
I've been staying up on it, here and there.
Yeah.
Of course, seeing the highlights, but basically, I've been I've been at work, but I've seen some good highlights on the Combine. I mean, I'm very interested in seeing where these college kids get to go.
It's a good class. I mean, I don't think it's as big as or a highly anticipated class as it was last year, with a lot of people come in. I mean, there's good quarterbacks in this one, some good wide receivers in this one. But I mean, a lot of them, you really didn't know about them until their last 2 years of college. I mean, a lot of people, from freshman year are going to be really big, but now you have these other quarterbacks who you only know 2 years after their last 2 years, they've kind of balled out. So now they're when they get into the league, I mean, they could be really good.
Definitely. A big one that stood out to me would be quarterback from Cincinnati was Desmond Ridder.
Yeah.
He was one of the only quarterbacks to run the 40-yard dash. He ran a 4.52.
That's not bad.
And but like I said with the 40-yard dash, he was one of the only ones to run it. He's one of the only ones to do the vertical jump, the broad jump, and because most quarterbacks opted out of that just because they wanted to show off their arm strength.
Yeah, that's all they got to do.
That's all they really need to do when it comes into the NFL draft is to show off that for teams to say. So have y'all had any other quarterbacks that y'all thought stood out to y'all besides, I don't know, Desmond Ridder, Malik Willis?
Malik Willis from Liberty. I mean, I saw one of his throws. I think it was just a streak, and that man, it had to be in the air for it felt like 5 seconds easy and hit him right yards. In stride. It was crazy. I think that really cemented himself as all right. Because a lot of people are trying to put who the best QB is. Is it Malik Willis? Is it Kenny Pickett? Is it Sam Howell? I wish Matt Corral was healthy. I wish his ankle wasn't messed up or whatever's wrong because I want to see him throw. I kind of want to see how fast he was going to be. But Malik Willis, I think he's like, all right, well, I'm about to be number one. Whoever team comes to me, I'm trying to get it.
But another thing you're looking at as well is Matt Corral is doing a pro day. He's going to do it at Ole Miss, and he's going to be the only quarterback around, so he's not going to have that pressure of all the other quarterbacks.
That's true.
But the thing you think about is if you don't want to deal with that pressure with all the quarterbacks around you at the NFL Combine, how are you going to deal with that with 90,000 fans around you on any given day? But then,
if we think about it too, is last year there was no Combine.
Definitely.
There was no Combine last year, so as you said, the quarterbacks all had pro days, which in a way helped them out because they just got to, like you said, they had no other quarterbacks at that pro day besides themselves. So now you actually have the Combine, and it's showing, I'm comparing Malik. I'm comparing, Pickett and Ridder. I'm comparing all these because I see them right then and there. So it is a lot more pressure on these quarterbacks to be able to do a lot more. As we know, Liberty's not a huge school, right? You're not hearing about them in the championships. You're not hearing them about.
Are they D1?
Yeah,
they're D1. They're over on the East Coast. They're over. I can't remember. I think it's Virginia.
So then we kind of overlook, quarterbacks since we're always hearing about these big name teams. Okay, but we don't think about Liberty and we don't think about these quarterbacks, but they still have talent. You know what I'm saying? So even I have Dustin Crum. Have you guys heard of him?
Yeah, he not until now.
Not until now, right?
Yeah.
Not until the Combine.
He was throwing
but he's from Kent State, right?
Yeah.
He was the 2021 MAC Player of the Year. And balled in the Combine.
Right.
Was throwing on accurate, throwing dimes, going down the field. Again, but that, I couldn't tell you who Dustin Crum is if you came to me. He played for Kent State. Again, we don't hear about these big name teams. So when we see them go off into the Combine,
it's eye-opener.
It just brings attention to these quarterbacks. There was a quarterback from Brown out there throwing.
Yeah.
Brown. That's not a team you really hear about, but he was out there throwing really good balls.
Yeah.
So it just shines light on other quarterbacks besides, of course, you hear about Pickett because he's from Pitt. Had the little fake slide in his bowl game.
Sam Howell from UNC.
Sam Howell from UNC.
Sam Howell.
Carson Strong from
Carson Strong
North
from
Dakota State.
Was it? Okay, I thought it was Nevada. But anyway, you just hear these teams, right? You just hear these teams that are huge in college football, and that's why their quarterback sits at the top, like a Matt Corral.
Right.
You know, but then you kind of lose sight of a Malik Willis.
I think that's why I think that's why he's balling.
Right,
because he wants to prove himself.
He's under the radar.
He wants to prove himself.
And I mean, just like I mean, if you think about it too, when we think about the combine, again, players that play at like Carson Wentz, right, North Dakota State. They win championship games.
But
we didn't really think about Carson Wentz until he came to the combine, and now in the NFL.
Jimmy G,
right? These quarterbacks.
I don't even know where he went to college at.
I don't remember either. But I mean, even some quarterbacks like if you think about Big Ben. Miami, Ohio. Well, like again, that's not a team that we think about, but he came into the league and balled out. So the combine really brings attention to a lot of these quarterbacks. But I agree, if it was me, Malik definitely had the best QB arm in the entire combine.
But here's another thing to go into. Don't mean to cut you off, but what do you want when you comes to a quarterback? Do you want a power arm? Do you want a rushing quarterback? Do you want dual threat? Do you want someone who can throw the ball and run the ball?
Yeah,
that's the thing you think about because Desmond Ridder can do both.
Right.
Malik Willis don't know if he can do both.
Yeah, I mean,
he's done it a little, but you look at the teams he's played at when he played with Liberty. He didn't play against all these big schools. He didn't play against the Alabamas, the Auburns, the Texas A&M. I mean, and not just to name off SEC schools like the Ohio States, the Clemsons. He didn't play
big D1 teams.
The big D1 teams. And just because, like with college football, you're going to have like these little teams like Liberty, they're not going to play the big conferences just because even if they have a good record, it's hard for them to even get in the top 25.
Like Coastal Carolina. I know they're kind of like not talking about quarterbacks, but they're not really a big name team, but their record was so good, but not really a big name team. But they kind of
still landed in the top 25.
Right, exactly. I'm just saying, but these teams that aren't to the top, their players kind of fade them way out because you don't really see them as much and you don't hear them as much. But with going back to Desmond Ridder, I mean, running a 4.5 as a quarterback and throwing nice at the combine. Again, that's a dual threat quarterback, which I've seen a lot of people say he's going to be the starter at Denver or Pittsburgh. These places that have these vacancies, these QB vacancies, are I think a nice destination. And if I was a GM for an NFL team, I'm not gonna lie, it's kind of tough to choose between Pickett, Ridder, Davis, places like that. Because you don't know who's gonna be the best out of the combine.
You don't.
They have no pressure. You're throwing to a wide open receiver with no coverage.
You're not gonna know until game time.
Right. You're not really gonna know until you see it. But I mean, not to say like many quarterbacks can go out there and throw a dime 65 yards on the field. Again, you have nobody coming at you. You have no cornerback on your receivers. You just have the time to throw. Don't get me wrong; they're still making great throws up there, but it just kind of changes a lot of how they're going to play in the actual game, live game. I wish the combine would kind of show some things like that. What's the live look going to look like? Are they going to be scrambling under pressure? Because as we saw, Zach Wilson went off in the combine last year.
He didn't have a combine. Pro
day. Excuse me. Right, no combine.
But then you go look at the Jets, and they don't have an offensive line.
Right, so he's scrambling. He's throwing picks. He's not throwing the touchdowns. But in the pro day, oh my gosh, man, throwing 65 yards down the field, right in the basket. A great catch, great throw. But in real life, it's like, okay, well, like you said, New York Giants don't have an offensive line, and they don't have the weapons they need. They have the quarterback, but of course, as the GM, these questions come into factor of who's the best. So,
well, going from quarterbacks, did you have any running backs that stood out to you?
Before we leave quarterbacks, I always want to say there's a one weird thing that I really forgot they gauged is like hand size, and they were criticizing old boy Kenny Pickett because he had like an 8.5 size hand, and it's too small. I don't know if y'all remember last year happened to Joe Burrow. He has a 9-inch, and everybody was like, "Oh, they're like he has too small of a hands. He can't throw the ball." And he actually like tweeted out, he's like, "Oh, I'm considering retirement,
early retirement,
yeah, because it's too small."
Because he thought his hands were gonna be too small.
But it's crazy because I mean the smallest. When he goes into the league, he will have the smallest hands than any signal caller in the NFL.
Dang,
that's crazy.
Which the average was like. I was reading about it earlier today.
It's like.
And it was like 9 and a quarter.
Yeah, because like Joe Burrow's is 9, and then Patrick Mahomes is 9 and a quarter. I mean, those are just two big like quarterbacks how you see size hands are. So I forgot they gauged it. I mean, when you think about it, gripping the ball is serious.
Yeah,
getting it from underneath the center, throwing it whenever you're getting hit. If you don't hold it the correct way, it's an easy fumble. Yep. Things like that people don't realize. Okay, they kind of gauge that. So that was one thing that I was like, oh, I mean. This man can throw it 65 yards, but just because his hands are small, there's a reason he could fall in the draft.
Yeah,
But-
yeah. I mean, and I also saw too as I was watching, the best of the combine. They added I guess I would say, an extra element to the combine was power.
Oh, how
Throw
fast
power.
they spot?
They had to hit a
Yeah.
target,
Speed.
but how fast they could throw the
Yeah,
power
yeah,
of
yeah.
it. I'm not sure how far the distance was, but Sam Howell had a
55.
mile,
Oh, it's 50,
58,
something
He was
like
the
that.
most,
Yeah,
58
yeah.
mile an hour.
Which is crazy.
Which is but again, fitting it between those tiny windows,
I
you
think that's
gotta
what it's
throw
for.
it in.
That's what
That
it's
just
for.
shows, okay, he can whip it in there. He could throw these lasers on a line, things like along those lines. So it's cool that they're kind of adding more of these little features to kind of figure out which quarterback would be the best for their team.
Yeah.
But going on to what Adam was saying, running backs. I mean, Dalvin Cook's little brother. He actually, even come from Georgia. He actually had a really nice combine, quick. You could tell he could his movement lateral was really nice to me. Nice hands out of the backfield. Things along those lines. He looked like a good overall running back. Me personally, as a Dolphin fan, I would like to have him. He could fall later into the draft, but that's kind of one of the running backs that stood out to me because I really didn't think too much. I mean, he didn't go off at Georgia. He wasn't one of the main running backs at Georgia. But to see him come in and actually, I mean, in my opinion, blow me away in the combine, I was like, wow, this guy can play. And not to say he's going to be a high draft pick, but he could fall back a little bit. Would be nice, right? But he was one of the ones that stood out to me as a running back. What about you, Adam?
Perry, I think it's Perry Strong from South Dakota State.
Ooh, okay.
He had one of the fastest 40 times at a 4.37.
Woo, that's moving.
The vertical jump was 36 inch and the broad jump was a 10'4".
Man, how tall is he? Did you see?
I don't remember exactly off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Somewhere in the range of like 5'8" to 5'10".
Nice.
He's a small, stout guy. But then again, you look at like where he came from you haven't heard of him since
Right.
the last 2 years.
Right.
And because he's coming from South Dakota State, and they only play teams, I can't remember what conference they're in, but I know they play teams such as North Dakota State, and they play North Dakota.
Yeah, which is
And-
again, not teams that you really hear about. Yeah.
And so I thought it was funny because their motto at like South Dakota State is like be as fast as a jackrabbit because that's their
Mascot.
mascot, and he was one of the fastest running backs, so it was pretty cool to see. But another guy I had on the radar that I was looking at was Breece Hall from Iowa State over in the Big 12.
I did hear good things about him.
He ran a 4.39 40-inch vertical jump, which was better than Perry Strong's, and then you got the broad jump at 10'6", which was another big thing. But he's a big stout boy too, because I was watching his highlights and I was seeing how he breaks tackles and how he continues to grow on his running.
Yeah.
And it's just a big standout to me. What do you think, Bryce? What'd you look at?
I mean, I'm gonna be honest with you. The only one that I saw, like Spencer said, was Dalvin Cook's little brother. Like whenever he was like running, I saw him do like the lateral one as well. Like the way he shifts and everything. He's like his brother. He can move and
He's shifty.
Yeah, exactly. And like there just really wasn't. I mean, of course there's gonna be some people that fall back into the draft and everything, but there really wasn't a lot of big name running backs like last year was. You had Najee Harris. You had like James Robinson. You have all these other people that were trying to get into the draft that had big names for themselves, and Trey Sermon. But this year, I mean, I think it's really just your big things you're hitting on is QB and wide receivers. And wide receivers were crazy this year.
Although, granted, there are a lot of teams out there that need running backs.
100%.
Like the Dolphins.
100%.
We need a running back. We need these people. And we think about who's in the Heisman race in college football as running back was Walker from
Kenneth Walker.
from Michigan State, right?
But he was like,
So-
I mean, what did he come in, like 6th?
But I mean, he's still part of the Heisman talk. He ran a 4.38,
Yeah.
which is still again, anything under 4.4 in my opinion is quick fast.
Right.
So having him run a 4.3, I mean, you're moving, right? You're moving. But did we hear a lot about him even coming out of the finalist of a Heisman Trophy winner? Not really. We didn't hear too much about him. So things like that. As some of these running backs come out, again, the combine brings so much light to these players that don't get too much publicity during the season, but when they come out on their own, it just shows a lot more than what they can do, and I like that about the combine.
I think that it's like, well, also was crazy about, I mean, we'll get to it, but again, wide receivers to me, you got, Ohio State, goes Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson. They were the first pair to run under a 4.4 as far as like two duo that's played for the same college team. And like I think since Paris Campbell and Johnny Dixon did it 2 years ago, also from Ohio State. Chris Olave ran a 4.39, Garrett Wilson ran a 4.38. Like 0.1 second, 0.001 second apart. And then to me, I thought the sleeper was the dude from Baylor. He ran a 4.28.
4.28. Yep.
Tyquan Thornton. That's crazy.
He had a 10'10" broad jump too.
It's insane.
That's just athletes.
That's a
you know
freak.
What I'm saying? They're freaks
That's a
of
freak.
Athletes, yeah.
And everybody's like thinking he's gonna drop. Like he's not gonna be. He's not top because you got Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave, Drake London from USC. You got Jamison Williams, George Pickens.
But if we're looking at it, none of them had faster 40 times, right?
They didn't.
That's what I'm saying. So like they're the big names, but they're not as quick. You know, not as I would say, not even as a good of a route runner.
But you got to think about, you can route run all day, but it's all about the hands. Can you catch the ball?
True.
Can you catch the ball? True. Where you have all these people, the other guys who catch the ball, they have good body movement, turn towards the ball, all that stuff. The good IQ, you can be quick as hell. But I mean, as long as you don't catch the ball, then what's going on?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Can you run the routes? Can you catch the ball? Can you make the play? That's what the NFL looks for. That's what the coaches look at.
Exactly.
And it's just all that big stuff right there.
I like that. And plus, I mean, like you said, teams come in and they look for talent, pure talent, right? And you have people that come out of the combine and kill it in the NFL that don't come from really big teams. For instance, a Cooper Kupp, right? Cooper Kupp was, maybe a 2 to 3 star coming out of high school. Didn't get many offers. Came in to college, but he showed out in the combine, got drafted, maybe not high, but kind of late. And now he's one of the best receivers in the league.
Yeah.
So the combine brings so much publicity to some of these players that get no publicity during the actual regular season because they may be overshadowed by better people or maybe they don't get targeted enough. Things along those lines. It's just Calvin Austin the third, and you've heard of him.
No.
Right. Again, he's from Memphis. Ran a 4.32. Again, we don't really hear about these people. We hear about a Chris Olave. We hear about the Garrett Wilsons. We hear about these higher end receivers, but some of these receivers gets overshadowed. So I really do like how the combine brings so much light to these people. It's just like Bryce said, freaky athletes. For Thornton to not only be one of the fastest one, but to get a 10-foot drop, a 10 broad jump, right? 36.5 vertical jump.
That's crazy. That's what I'm saying.
That's an athlete.
Throw
the ball up. He's gonna catch it.
It's jump ball.
He's gonna at that point. He's gonna catch the ball.
Jump ball.
There was an article I was reading the other day that was telling me, it was basically telling the world like it's crazy how so much like comes into the draft, freak athletes at that. Yeah. But then there's some freak athletes that come into the draft where they kind of just don't show out in the draft, but they were freak athletes in college. Yeah. But that's because they played like lower division schools or like D2 or D3 schools. And I'm not to hate on D2 or D3 schools, but sometimes when you have like, say you have like a DK Metcalf versus like a 6-string cornerback from a North Dakota State team. Yeah. I mean, even though they've won national championships, it's kind of like finding the freak athlete and finding the kids that can play the game at the next level, and that's the beautiful thing about the draft.
Sometimes it can be needle in a haystack.
Because some of these players don't get they don't have a great high school career, so they get recruited for a D2,
a junior college
or even so then these higher players that go to these higher D1 schools, they get looked at a lot more. But you gotta think about these high school players, they develop in college. Right. They develop their skills. They work their butts off. So by the time they hit the combine or the draft, they're set, right? They're a lot better since they came out of high school. They could be even, just as good as some of these higher end D1 players. They just weren't at the higher end D1 schools. Right. So it just, you can't really, people think, I went to, don't get me wrong, Alabama's great, but I went to Bama. I went to these Penn States, Clemson, places like that, and kind of fall off. So it just really happens. So
before we move on, I just want to go one more thing. Oh boy, Jordan Davis from Georgia, 341 pounds, ran a 4.78.
Big boy can
a 4.78,
faster than Patrick Mahomes,
Baker Mayfield,
Jameis Winston. These are quarterbacks, and this man is 330 something.
341 pounds.
Oh yeah, 340 pounds.
That's somebody who can chase you.
Yeah.
Like, chase you.
Again, when we talk about freak of athletes, I mean, I don't know if y'all saw his drills, but how fast he got off the ground, ran between the pylons, ran between, like, getting to people. It was just way...
I think the big thing they showed, not to cut you off again, I'm sorry, but a big thing that shows is he got winded in most of the games that he played in. Mm-hmm. Like that first Alabama game, you saw where that one play, he had played like 2 downs in a row. He got winded and literally just stood there. And that's what NFL coaches look at.
Oh, yeah.
They look at how you play on the field during games. Just you want to give up on a play because you're out of breath a little. If you can't give 110% effort on my team, I wouldn't want you.
But I also think they also think, all right, well, if he does that, wait till he gets to a huge establishment like an NFL. We will get him right. Nutritionist, all these things that are going to get him fit to where he can last a good couple series before he's like tired out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of these boys, you know, they go to, like you said, big colleges and everything, some little colleges. So we'll stick a little college in here real quick. We'll go for like a little debate that a lot of people have had. I mean, I'm pretty sure a lot of people can talk about it for hours. And then, so like, what is the best conference in college football? Now, you're down here in the South, so a lot of people will think, you know, SEC, but you have the other ones as well. Before we start anything, I'm going to go ahead and say it. I'm an Ohio State fan from the Ohio State, and Ohio State has not beaten Florida. I'm going to go ahead and say that because I know this boy Adam Glover is going to bring it up at least 6 times before we get done talking about it. So, Ohio State has not beaten Florida Gators ever. Just want to put that out there. So whenever it hits
in football,
I don't know about
so
whenever it hits, I'm not. Y'all, it's not gonna be surprised. This man will bring it up from 20 years ago and be like, "But have y'all beat us?" No.
I mean,
put that out there.
It's just a big debate we've always had because you know we've been best friends for so long, and you're a fan of a team that's not even near here. I'm a fan of a team that's 3-4 hours from here.
Yeah.
I'm a big Gators fan. I know Spencer's a big Gators fan. I'm ride or die with the Southeastern Conference. It's something that's always showed and it's always been a powerhouse. I got a couple of stats here just for y'all to read. I'd go top 3 for me. 1, 2, 3 would be SEC, Big Ten, ACC. Even though people say the ACC is the worst conference out there, I've seen them come up in big spots before and win big games when they need to win big games. The SEC in bowls is, in the last 10 years, is 78-52. They have a 60% win rate, and they have 8 national titles.
8. Let me say that
But
again.
how many?
8.
But how many of them 8 is one team or 2 teams? So that's the biggest thing to me. All right, so I'll give you right now. I'll go from the last.
Let me say it again, Bryce. 8.
How many? You know that's 8. How many Ohio State has in their whole career. How many do y'all have?
How many have y'all lost in the last few years?
We have 3. We have 3.
How many
we have 8.
When's the last time you won it?
2014. When's the last time y'all won it?
I'm just saying, Bryce.
When's the last time y'all won it?
2008.
That was crazy. But anyways, so I'll go from 16 to 2021. So 16 Clemson won
ACC,
it.
right?
17 Alabama.
Oh, SEC.
18 Clemson again.
Okay.
19 LSU.
SEC.
20
Bama.
Alabama.
SEC.
21 SEC. UGA.
Oh, SEC.
I will give you that. I'll
SEC.
give you that. Okay. And in 2020 in bowl records, y'all also did well. SEC went 7-2.
7-2, Bryce.
ACC went 0-6.
ACC garbage.
Big Ten went 3-2.
3-2. 3-2.
3-2.
So hold on, let's just say that we only had 5 teams that made the bowl game, Bryce.
Yeah.
5 teams.
Yeah.
We had 9.
Yeah. Okay.
Make the bowl game.
Okay. I don't care. But also, and then Big 12 went 5-0. Now
Big 12 went 5-0. And y'all
5-0. We went 3-2. We still went 3-2.
The Big 12?
We still went 3-2. And in that what you call
Wow.
it? When the final AP poll dropped, all 4 of those big ones had the same amount of people in the top 25. They all have 4. So ACC didn't have more, SEC didn't have more, Big Ten didn't have more. And I'll also throw it out there. 2020, Florida got demolished by Oklahoma. 55-20. Just want to put that out there.
Yeah.
And y'all can say, I'm ready for it.
Yeah.
Y'all can say, well, all of our players didn't play.
No,
but
I'm
also, your star quarterback played.
I'm not worried about that. I'm not talking about that.
Before you give me your rebuttal, Ohio State went to the playoffs again.
Oh, wow.
Again.
Okay.
One beat Clemson 49-28.
Congratulations, finally.
You know what I think? You know what I think's cute about Ohio State fans? We made the playoffs again, but your ass did not leave with a national title.
Facts. Thank you.
I'm gonna say on the table. Have y'all been to the college football playoffs? Have y'all been to the college football playoffs?
About that.
Let me talk. Have you guys been to the college football playoffs?
We have not.
Say it one more time.
We have not been to the playoffs.
Okay, Adam, have you guys been to the playoffs?
Bryce, do me a favor.
Out of the how many years have y'all been to the playoffs?
Remember when y'all went to Ann Arbor and you got your ass whooped by the Wolverines?
What? You know what? This man's on a whole different level. Answer my question first.
Listen, answer my question first. Adam Glover, would you rather go to the playoffs, right?
I'd rather win a national championship. I wouldn't rather go to the playoffs and say, "Oh, I made the playoffs."
Right, and get not even that, but get blanked by Clemson 31-0 against Clemson in the playoffs, Bryce. They didn't score a freaking field goal.
But you know what we can say? No, we can say
What?
We won our conference.
I don't care.
And we won.
Who is
the
good
playoffs.
in the Big Ten that y'all win?
Oh my gosh, bro! Oh my gosh!
Every time.
No.
Let me finish my claim. In the Big Ten, right? In the Big Ten, you have no freaking people to play, Bryce.
Again,
let me finish my thing, Bryce. Florida, we have Georgia to play.
That's it.
Alabama to play. LSU to play. Auburn.
No.
Listen to me. Hold on. And then next year, guess who's joining the SEC? Because big teams want to come over to the big fucking conference. So guess what? They're coming over. Texas, Oklahoma, the big two teams of the Big 12 coming to the SEC. Why? Because they want to play freaking great football against teams that are going to be easily be the best ones. Championship.
All right.
Hold on. Did anybody say, damn, I want to go to the Big Ten and play against these sorry-ass teams like Maryland?
All the people. Spencer, who do y'all play? Because look at this. Vanderbilt wins 2-10.
It's Vandy.
Okay. Mississippi State went 7-6. Auburn went 6-7. LSU went 6-7. Shut the fuck up. I'm talking. So how are you guys good? The only teams that are good right now for you guys is just Alabama.
We already know about
LSU and Georgia. We
already know about these teams,
since 2014. No. Since 2014, which when the college football playoffs started.
Yes.
Alabama has been 7 times.
7 times, bro.
Clemson has been 6. Okay. And Ohio State has been 4.
Wow.
Georgia's been twice. Yep. LSU's been 1.
Yep. But who's won?
I'm talking. So basically, what SEC is doing, especially what you keep on talking about, SEC is the best, is that you guys are riding Bama's coattails.
No.
Because Alabama's been so many times. Because Alabama's been so many times that you guys think they're the best because of that one reason.
Bryce, let me chime in for one moment because you're talking about the Mississippi States, the Ole Misses, and the Vandies. Yeah. You've got the Indianas that
2-10.
You've got
5-8 is Rutgers.
You've got the Rutgers.
Yep.
You've got the Maryland.
Yep. 7-6.
You've got the Nebraska.
3-9.
Illinois.
3-9.
You've got the Northwestern.
Garbage.
You've got Purdue.
Garbage.
You're gonna say Purdue went 9-4.
Yes,
9-4. 9-4.
But you'll sit back and say that. But listen. You want to talk about all these stats and about all these games and about making the playoffs and making this and making that. Remember the year you made the playoffs, you made the national championship, and Alabama waxed your ass like a damn wax parlor?
Does it matter?
Does it matter?
Yes, it does. Because you didn't walk away with the ring.
No, it does not matter because at the end of the day, look at this. At the end of the day, I will show you this. At the end of the day.
What?
At the end of the day. So the big New Year's that happened this year. I'm talking about bowl games because you guys always talk about the best. The Peach Bowl, big bowl game. Big 10 won it. The Fiesta Bowl, big game. Big 12 won it. Shut the fuck up, I'm talking. The Rose Bowl game, Big 10 won it. Sugar Bowl, Big 12 won it. What'd you guys go to? And y'all lost to UCF? I don't want to talk about it anymore because y'all think because Alabama wins and Georgia won this year that you guys are unstoppable. Because you cannot tell me though. You cannot tell me though that because one team wins, the whole conference is good.
Yes.
No, you cannot.
Yes, I can. We have the best. If you look at I know I don't have the stats right now, but if we look at the draft. If we look at who's in the NFL, most of these freaking players are from the SEC.
No, you know what
The major players are from the SEC because they fucking ball.
No.
Justin Fields was at Georgia, one of the best schools in the SEC. He wasn't starting. He had to go to a weaker ass conference like the Big Ten so he could play, so he could go play some and win some games because he couldn't survive in the SEC because it's the best conference in college football.
Okay, because a kid wanted to better himself. He knew that Jake Fromm was in front of him.
Jake Fromm.
And he wasn't gonna start. Listen. Let me talk. Because he wanted to start. He wanted to go to a prestige school that's winning championships. Winning their conference, going 4 for 4 in the Big Championship, and show out and be Heisman runners for 2 of his years there. Tell me that's
I could do that. It's the Big fucking 10. I could do that.
No. Because look at this. I saw this stat. Big 10 plays more games versus Power 5 teams.
Talk some sense in this man,
listen,
bro.
you gonna let me talk? Big 10 plays more Power 5 games and anyone with better results, and they play a lower percentage of FCS teams because Alabama played them Southern. Y'all play Southern Charleston. So I'm saying, so a Big Ten because Big Ten plays lower than that because y'all play hardly anyone. And again, I will say it again. You guys have not done anything.
You're talking about you guys as in Georgia.
No. I'm talking about SEC because in 2019 the ACC went 4-7. We went 8-2, and Big Ten or SEC went 4-5.
In what?
In the bowl games.
Oh, you're talking about the bowl games. I'm not talking about the fucking bowl games. I'm talking about as a conference overall. Who won the championship last year?
I just said Georgia.
No, ask you the question.
Georgia.
What conference are they in?
SEC.
Okay, thank you. But who won it before?
You are pretty much
You answer my question?
you are making my statement real because one team wins. No. Yes, because
Adam,
all right. So think about this.
Adam, who's usually in the top 25 and sitting at least in the top 3?
I mean,
Georgia or Bama.
But if you look at the stats, Bryce, when we were talking about the draft and like players getting drafted, you've got the SEC usually gets 21 players drafted in the draft. The Big Ten is right behind them. They're at 14. That's 7 less than the SEC. But if we're gonna sit here, we're gonna talk facts. Let's talk about. I know we're talking about records over the last 10 years, or we're talking about records from last year and the year before. Every conference is going to have a shit team. Facts. The Nebraskas, the Vanderbilts, the Mississippi States, the Illinois Illini. So we can sit back and you can sit here and you can bitch, you can moan, you can say, oh, well, Florida plays Charleston Southern and Florida plays Georgia Southern and all this. You play freaking Akron, you play Tulsa, you play Toledo.
FAMU at one point.
That was like 2012.
I don't care.
But you still played them. You have to think about it. Like, we all play at least 2 shit teams a year because you play someone on homecoming so you can kick them in the damn mouth and send them back to where they came from.
But think about this, though. Think about this. What was the second best team to you guys last year? This is what we at one point the Big Ten had like 7 teams in the top 25.
I agree.
And Purdue was 9-4, ended 9-4. Michigan State ended 11-2. Yeah. Ohio State ended 11-2. Rose Bowl champs, by the way. Wow. And Michigan was 12-2 in the what's called. Anyways, we waited to the granddaddy of who'd y'all lose to? Who'd y'all lose to?
UCF.
I just want to let that know.
But in the Rose Bowl. A Big Ten team is always in the Rose Bowl because that's part of the Big Ten.
I don't care though. I'm just trying to say that you guys are supposed to be a high powerhouse, but you got these high powerhouse teams as far as Auburn, right?
Yeah,
6 and 7.
This
6 and 7. 6 and 7. LSU is LSU a big powerhouse?
They are.
6 and 7.
Are we going to talk about teams that have rebuilding programs?
6 and 7. 6 and 7. 6 and 7. I just want to let you guys know that you guys
year. What they do the year before won a fucking championship.
One time.
They still won a championship.
But because Alabama has been 7 times, you guys think Alabama's the best.
Let me ask you a question.
Let me ask you a question.
They're the best. Has there been any NCAA teams that said, hey, can we go play in the Big Ten?
Yes.
So Bryce, let me ask you
something. There's a couple coming. Cal is going to come.
Cal?
California, Berkeley.
Fuck if they've been in the top 25.
Wow. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Would you rather have Texas and Oklahoma the best teams or Cal?
When has Texas been a good team?
Oh, bro, they're one of the best teams in the Big 12.
Hey, you should just call your coach and tell him to fucking call Hawaii and say, hey, do you want to come play in the Big Ten? Yeah, you want to come from the Big
Ten? Because, look, we just need another sorry-ass team in our big conference. These teams want to come play in a conference that brings publicity to their schools, puts their players in the best position to get drafted.
And don't think we're just defending Florida. We're defending the SEC. Yeah, we're not just
I get that. But when was the last time, again, can you tell me the last time a big player came out of Vanderbilt, Tennessee, Mississippi State? Can you guys tell me that Prescott? Can you
tell me the last time someone came out of fucking Nebraska? Somebody came out of...
You ready for this? Who? Russell Wilson. Came from Nebraska.
Bryson, how long ago
wow, Bryce
doesn't matter.
Fucking 37.
Yeah, bro.
Doesn't matter. Dak Prescott got fucking drafted 7 years ago, you big bitch.
That's like...
So shut up.
That's like me saying, all right, Tennessee, y'all had Peyton Manning.
But all I'm trying to say though, again, I will leave it at this because again, we can talk about this and scream at each other for hours. Is that I will say this one more time? Is that because one team? So I'll leave it at this. I'll leave it at this. Let's say we're in a conference, okay?
Yep.
Every team is 0-16, but one team in that conference goes to the championship. That conference is the best in the league.
What?
You get what I'm saying? All right. So let's say there is 12 teams in a league. All 11 go 0-16, but one team in that 12 goes to the championship and wins it.
No, that's not the conference.
Okay,
no.
listen.
That's conference. No, I agree.
Okay, so because Alabama has been to the most and because they've won the most, do you think that that's because they have won the most of the best conference?
Yes.
You just talked out your ass.
No, but listen, we're not talking about last year. We're not talking about the year before. I'm talking about in the last 10 years, or even like since you said since 2014. How many of the championship games have been won by SEC teams?
This is the appearance. This is appearance.
That's all I want to say.
This is appearances.
I said win. I said win the SEC, win the championship game. What's the most conference win the championship game?
I don't care. I don't care. I'm not gonna say because one team, because one team wins the majority of it.
Fine.
They are the best.
You can continue.
They are the best. They are the best. They are the best.
That's fine. Continue.
So
continue to be on the weakest ass conference in the NCAA.
You're just mad because y'all haven't done anything in a very, very
Who's
long
us?
time.
Who's us?
No, tell me how we haven't done anything in a very
Bro,
fucking long
the
time.
last 2 years we lost 2 games.
I will.
What did y'all do? What y'all do?
We won our conference and we went to the national championship and we won the Rose Bowl. But y'all haven't done shit.
And when Michigan beat you over the table and put their foot in your ass and you ate it like
That's
a
because
champ.
y'all play FS2.
In order for Florida to win the SEC,
We have to go through
Alabama
We have
and
to go through
Georgia.
Alabama
Who the
and
hell do y'all have to go
Georgia.
through? Who do y'all have to go through?
The Michigan that beat y'all 2 years ago.
Michigan.
Who beat y'all 2 years
fine,
ago.
beat y'all.
The
Indianas and the Nebraska. Shut the fuck up.
My man over here
Oh
choking on
my
his fucking
God.
spit because y'all haven't played nobody. Again, I'll leave it at this. Last time y'all won y'all's conference.
It's been a while.
Oh, damn, that shit was radio
It's been a
silence.
while. It's been a while.
When's the last time?
That.
When's the last time that you guys won a championship?
What type of
Okay,
championship?
SEC or
2008. 2008.
Okay.
We've been to SEC championship games.
Win.
2020, we played Alabama.
Finally.
Alabama,
Finally.
But I'm just saying,
Finally.
guys,
You mean
when you come,
Finally.
guys, please put Ohio State in the SEC and get your ass whooped.
Listen. When we go up against SEC teams, we win.
Who?
Alabama.
You didn't beat Alabama in the
Yes,
national championship. It
We
was
still beat
52
them one
to
time.
28.
We still beat them one time, though.
Wow,
To
one
the
time.
national
Wow, one
championship.
time.
To the national championship. At the end of the day, at the end of the day,
One
at the
time,
end of the day,
bro.
at the end of the day,
Congratulations.
at the end of the day,
Yeah.
at the end of the day, what's
Yeah.
going to be in the paper right now? All right, what's in the day? Ohio State has won a title after or before
Yeah, you're right.
Florida State has.
You're right. You have the
Florida. Before Florida has.
Can we do
Before Florida
this?
has.
But listen,
Before
listen.
Florida-
We're
Hey,
debating.
you haven't answered my question,
We're
big boy. You
debating.
haven't answered my
Right.
question.
No, you're
You've
right.
won the
But
national
you're right.
championship. But
You're
listen,
right.
we're debating
Adam.
who the best conference. We're not
Conference,
debating
not team. Not team.
the fuck eyes
Conference.
and the Gators.
Yeah.
Because y'all don't want to debate that because y'all know y'all lose. At the end of the day, again, it
Anyway,
goes
guys, all right,
Big Ten.
all right.
Again, it goes Big Ten, SEC, ACC because we are a bigger Power 5.
You put Big Ten above SEC?
Anyways,
Wow.
I'll
this man-
let
this man- I don't know how
the
fuck you
fans
on a
on the
podcast.
other side of the
Yeah.
mic. I'll let them decide. They
Yeah.
can give us their top
Yeah.
3.
Hey,
Top
yeah.
five. I don't
Y'all
care
listeners,
what
put
we
it
live in the
put
South.
it in the comments.
We live in the
I
South.
don't care. If you're an NCAA fan, you kind of know. So,
South,
hey,
North, East, West. I don't care where you
whoever's listening to
live.
this podcast, put it in the comments. Who do you think the best conference of the NCAA is? Non-biased. And be real. Again, I don't like Alabama and Georgia. I don't like them teams, but I still think the SEC is the best. Anyway, guys,
getting
all right.
out of the hot debate, let's
Yeah.
go into what we call our hot topic.
I like it.
And
New
this
segment.
week it's going to be QB destinations and where we think the top QBs are going to land this season.
But before we talk about that, on the hot topic, you guys, give us a comment. Let us know what hot topic you think we should do. Go in the comments. So that way, let us know what you want to hear, like what you guys want us to talk about, so that maybe next season or next episode we know what's going on.
All right, we're staying in the hot topic. Let's start off with, he was a big guy we talked about last week. There's been a few changes. He still hasn't really announced where he's going to go. I'm going to go down this list. I've got 4 big QBs where we think they're going to land.
I like it.
Let's start off with Aaron Rodgers. Where do
Okay.
you think he's going to land? Spencer, I'll let you start. Bryce will go after, and I'll give my take after that.
So I'm not gonna lie, I still think the best fit for him would be San Fran. But now listening to multiple sports casts and things like that, they're right. I wouldn't trade him to an NFC team. There's no way I would trade him to an NFC team. So recently I've heard him talking about going to Tennessee. Nice squad. I mean, he's got teams, he's got the people, he's got the weapons. Offensive line's nice. I mean, not to throw shade on Tannehill, but if Tannehill can flourish inside that offense, imagine what Aaron Rodgers could do. So for me, Aaron Rodgers, I think his best destination would be San Fran, but if I had a second choice, it would be the Titans. What about you, Bryce?
I'm still going Denver.
Still on Denver, okay.
Just because, again, they hired his OC as head coach. He does have the weapons. I think that him being in the AFC West, if that's what it is, along with Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr. That's a hell of a conference to be in. I think he wants to compete at that high level. So I think he will be in there again. And, I mean, I could just see him, and especially because, people are saying, okay, Devontae Adams, follow him. If he gets Devontae Adams in that system as well.
In Denver?
Yeah. It'd be crazy.
It'd be tough, though. But you think about it, how much money would Denver have to cough up in order to get both of them?
It's probably going to be money and trades. Yeah. I think they would trade away, like, a Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, like, all these people, like, I think they get rid of them to bring in Devontae Adams.
If you trade those players away, then you got to think they're back into a rebuilding.
That's true. Yeah, who are they going to?
I don't think they're rebuilding. I think they're reamping. You get rid of them, you bring it in. I would take if somebody came to me, I was like, I will give you Jerry Jeudy and Cortland Sutton for Devontae Adams and Aaron Rodgers.
Nah, I wouldn't accept
that. But that's only
one. You
wouldn't
weapon.
Accept that's only one weapon.
Two weapons.
Wide receivers.
Who, Bryce? I'm talking
Aaron
about
Rodgers.
Throw to.
He still got this draft coming up.
Right.
You got all Chris Olave's, all these people coming in. He can get somebody there. Then you got Noah Fant. You still got all these other people.
Wow, you named me one person, Bryce.
But I'm trying to say, because other than that, who else can he get? Devontae Adams alone, I feel like is better than two other people.
This isn't a debate. Okay, Adam, what about you? Where do you think he's gonna go?
I mean, you put a big talk on it with the Titans. I mean, you got AJ Brown, you've got Julio Jones, and you've got Derrick Henry, and you've got an offensive line.
100%.
And it's exactly what he's looking for. I mean, it looks like a pristine spot. As a Steelers fan, I heard the Steelers are in his top 3, and that's just because they're a northern team. They've got really good. They've got a really good wide receiver core. They've got some nice tight ends that we still have with Ebron and Freiermuth. And it's just about getting an offensive line in Pittsburgh to get Aaron Rodgers there. But I also saw our cap space, and we only have around $28 to $29 million, and he wants about $50 a year. So it's going to be hard to get him there. But
who's next?
Top 2 ideal situations, I'd say Titans and Steelers. But
what about Philly?
He could
say you're going to Philly.
Well, see, Philly fell off the table when they really gave away that they're not going to give away 2-3 first-round picks. I
don't think they were on the table at all.
And they were on the table at first, but then the GM went back and thought about it a little more with the coaches, and they want to keep it with Jalen Hurts, grow a couple years more with him, and then get a backup for him so they can have a growing plan. But next quarterback, I'd say Jimmy G. Where do y'all think Jimmy G ends up?
Honestly, I think he's gonna go to the Buccaneers. I think that's his destination. He's gonna go to. Yes, I know my boy Kyle Trask is there, but
Trash.
Trash.
Okay. Got his name.
I do think that that'd be a nice fit for him. Nice little different location. Again, you have the weapons to throw to. If they keep Evans, Godwin, you even got Scotty, players like that. I mean, they have no Gronk anymore, but they have the weapons for him to kind of, I would say, slide in there, be a nice little addition. But I'm the Buccaneers. Bryce?
I'm going Commodores or Commanders. That's what they are. Washington Commanders. I'm still getting used to that name.
We really got you thinking about the SEC. I know you missed it over there.
Yeah, I say Vandy.
I think that's where he's gonna go. I don't think that Taylor Heineke is gonna be staying there much longer.
If anything, he'd be a backup.
Yeah, maybe.
Jimmy G. Tyler Heineke's a nice quarterback, but okay.
I think Jimmy G fits in that system the most. They're not heavy pass. They still got a good run, but you do have they still throw. And I feel like at San Francisco, they didn't throw as much too. You still have Mitchell and all these people that can run the ball. Where as far as like at Washington, they can do both. And I think Ron Rivera could probably take him under his wing. And when he did Cam Newton the same way, I can see him at Washington.
Okay, Adam.
2 big spots I've seen. I've seen the Panthers in Carolina. I've seen he fits into that scheme a little bit. But one I'm real big on, and I would like to see him there, is Pittsburgh again.
Okay.
With us running the pistol offense lately, you got Najee in the backfield, and you got Deontay Johnson, Smith-Schuster if we keep him. You'd have Freiermuth at tight end. I mean, we're going to be rebuilding in the draft for offensive line, and that's something that quarterbacks that are on the move want to see. And I'd see him fitting in that system pretty well. So I'd go either Steelers or Panthers there. Ideally, I'd like to see him in Pittsburgh this fall.
I like it. Who you got next?
Jameis Winston. It's a tough one.
See, now I'm going with Pittsburgh on that one. I've seen many, I would say, predictions of him going to Pittsburgh. I've also seen him going back to the Buccaneers, but I think he'd be a better fit in Pittsburgh. I just think he did nice with the Saints last year. He played nice, especially when he started, they won.
When he was healthy.
When he was out, they saw they kind of dip down, but with the Pittsburgh, like I said, if they keep the juju, That'd be a nice weapon to have. You do have Najee in the backfield. I just think he would fit into that system pretty nicely as a Pittsburgh Steeler. And like I said, I've seen many predictions on that. About you?
I got him staying at New Orleans. Like you guys said, when he's healthy, he wins.
Yeah.
I think they're going to go away from Taysom Hill being the quarterback. I think they're going to leave him as a weapon as far as whatever he is, like tight end, wide receiver, every once in a while. Yeah. Every once in a while being, the mobile quarterback that did get a first down through with his legs. But as far as like Jameis Winston, I think he kind of found a new home there in New Orleans. And I think with Sean Payton being out of there now, I think they're going to bring somebody else in and give Jameis a shot. I think he's going to stay. Now, do I think he's going to win as much at first? No, but I think he's going to grow in that system because he was only there for, half a season? Then he got hurt? Mm-hmm. So I think he's just going to, now he's going to be in this new system. I think he's just going to do good. I mean, like, you saw what he did the first week against Green Bay. I mean, he's just going to keep doing that.
I am 100% on board with what Bryce says. With Sean Payton out, you got a new coach coming in. He's going to have to make big decisions, whether he wants an athlete to start at quarterback who's more of a wide receiver, or if he wants a quarterback to play his position in the NFL.
You ain't lying. Yeah.
So, Taysom Hill can make some plays, but it's all about, at the end of the day, can he win ball games? And he kind of proved last season that he is up and down on a roller coaster. You can win some and you can lose some, but that's the way the NFL goes. Last quarterback I'm going to bring up, Kirk Cousins, leaving the Vikings. Where do we think he ends up?
So I've heard that same thing, and honestly, I've heard them talk about the Browns. I've heard about him going to the Browns. Yeah, I've seen a lot of predictions of him going there. Being that veteran quarterback for, if Baker stays, being a veteran quarterback for him, even bringing him into the Browns could give some competition towards Baker. But I think Kirk Cousins could definitely fit into that system as well. Baker Mayfield pretty much tanked this season, especially with the talent that the Browns have. I mean, you're throwing to receivers. You got probably one of the best running back tandems in the backfield. But to have Kirk Cousins be in there, I mean, he's shown that he can make a lot of these stars play really good, like Justin Jefferson, Stephon Diggs, these people that
Adam Thielen,
right. And that's Kirk Cousins throwing to him, right? And Kirk Cousins, in my opinion, we didn't put him, either of us put him in our top 5. I don't even know if I'll put him in my top 10 sometimes. But for him to be able to show out and make these receivers really good could be a nice addition to the Browns.
I have him again staying at Minnesota. I think they'll ride him one last year because he didn't do bad last year. I think he even had one of his best years he's had in a while. Now he does have a little bit of problems when it comes to turnovers and stuff like that, but he is throwing again to, like you said, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen. He has those two people and those two weapons alone. But I think that, like you were saying to the Browns, I think he's real similar to our backup quarterback, Case Keenum, who came from Minnesota.
Yeah.
I don't think he does much more that Case Keenum can't do. So I don't think they're going to try to get somebody else in that can go against Baker that's really similar to already somebody who is pretty much like him.
Yeah.
So I have him staying at Minnesota, again, just for one more year. I think it is his last year under contract, if I remember right, or he has no guaranteed money, one of the two. Mm-hmm. So I think that he's going to stay there.
Looking into it money-wise, I think he'll end up being a Viking this year just because there's no teams that really... I mean, there's some teams that kind of fit the scheme that he runs as a quarterback.
Yeah.
But the Vikings are going to have some big decisions to make.
Yeah.
Because it's a $45 million contract hit.
Yeah.
Which is a cap hit that is pretty big to get out of for the next year to get a quarterback. But all signs right now are kind of pointing him going back to the Vikings because he did make a statement the other day that he is not going to give the hometown Vikings a discount. He is not going to ask for cheaper pay. He's going to ask for what he is worth.
He may say, I'm getting the money. I'm making it.
They're either going to give him the money or they're going to have to trade him away. And
that.
That's a decision a coach is going to have to make.
So he says, you like that.
Oh, yeah.
I think one more that a lot of people we haven't hit on yet was Russell Wilson. People were saying that he was going to leave. Mm-hmm. People were saying that Pete Carroll kind of wanted him out. Mm-hmm. But I did see that he verbally said that he wanted to stay in Seattle.
That's what I think he's going to do.
He wanted to stay. He's like, this is my team.
Yeah.
He wants to win another championship, another Super Bowl with him. Yeah. He said he wants to win 2 more Super Bowls with him. So, would I love to see him on the Cleveland Browns? Because that's something that a lot of people have talked about.
Yeah, I've seen predictions.
Hell yes.
Yeah.
I mean, trading, I've seen one where we trade Baker Mayfield, Donovan Peoples-Jones, and a first-round pick for him. That's something I can see. But that right there, I think is almost, not quite up there with Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, Russell Wilson, since he's gotten into the league, has stayed with the Seattle Seahawks that long, won a championship with them, has always been top. I think this year probably was his worst year.
Yeah, he struggled. And I mean, granted, he was sacked so many times.
Yeah, I was say, and this was the worst, and it was crazy. It was his worst, but it still was, I mean, what some quarterbacks, their best season is what his kind of worst was. Yeah. So, I don't know. I think that's a big one that could really shift the whole NFL's landscape of things, but I hope he stays in Seattle just because, I mean, he is a cool guy, and I feel like Seattle loves him. But if he goes to the Browns, I like that too.
Cool.
I'll stick with Seattle on that.
I'm with you. I think all of us think Seattle, or at least his last year there. I just think that's probably going to be his best destination, or his best I guess, choice, in my opinion, there. But with that being said, we're also thinking about how he would be next season, right? Could he be the comeback player of the year? Could he be, could he turn around the season and be an MVP of the league, right? So with that being said, I kind of want you guys' predictions on some of the awards. That we'll kind of close with that real quick. What we think about how these awards look like next year. I guess we can always start on the bottom, work our way up to the MVP. So who do you guys think would? I mean, let's start with that. Who do you think would the comeback player of the year?
Comeback player,
easily in my books, Derrick Henry.
I say Adam. I know you had somebody
after being injured all season. Coming back in the playoffs, playing his butt off. They won. I know they won one game, and then ended up falling to the Bengals.
Yeah.
I'll say it right this
man
time.
Say it right, Wes. Bengals.
But I think Derrick Henry comes back and plays his butt off, and he leads Tennessee to the playoffs again.
I'm gonna go with Lamar Jackson coming back with revenge. Pretty much, he was out. He didn't play like he wanted to play. Again, he wasn't fully healthy. I mean, we all had some really, I guess not all, but I had really high hopes for that team, especially in the division. So I think he'll be one of the comeback player of the year. I think he's going to win comeback player of the year. I think he's just going to go ball and just kill that entire division. Bryce?
I got J.J. Watt. He was going to the year, was making sacks, really flourishing in that Cardinal defense, which I think that he can do. He can match. And he was, and then I forgot what his injury was, but it took him out of the season. Yeah. And I think that was something that he really didn't like. He saw his brother win Defensive Player of the Year. So he's going to have that hunger in him that he's going to just try to go on a rampage and be that comeback player of the year.
Yeah. All right. So you say J.J. Watt, about Defensive Player of the Year?
I got Myles Garrett.
Okay.
I got Myles Garrett. Okay. I think that he, I'm maybe a little bit biased, but he was on a tear. He was leading the sacks all the way up until, I think, week 7. He did finish with 15. That's not small, but I think especially if we keep Jadeveon Clowney on the other side, I think that he can and will be Defensive Player of the Year just because of the defense that we have right now.
Yeah.
Everybody focusing on, again, a healthy Jadeveon Clowney. Hopefully we can get somebody else on the line that will kind of help him not get triple teamed.
Yeah.
I think that he can be Defensive Player and easily get up to there like TJ Watt did and get up close to Michael Strahan's sack record.
I'm going to go with Micah Parsons. But he went off last year. I mean, as a rookie. Yeah, as a rookie, right? Had 84 tackles, 13 sacks as a rookie, right? I mean, they were even talking about him as conversation of Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, I think he won Defensive Rookie of the Year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, they were already like, he could easily be Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, I even think they saw MVP talks, which I wouldn't go that far, but kid he's balling, right? And he's, in my opinion, probably one of the best defensive players on that team. So I would go Micah Parsons. What about you, Adam?
It could easily go back-to-back with TJ Watt.
Okay.
If the Steelers can sign all their defensive players back.
Yeah.
I think TJ Watt's still a huge threat. I know his brother's going to want to make comeback player of the year, but I know that TJ is going to have that hunger, that drive to get that sack record after he tied it this year at 22.5. Yeah. So I think it could easily go back-to-back. Micah Parsons would probably be my runner-up, if anything.
I mean, and just a kind of a side note, none of us picked Aaron Donald. All three of us.
That man garbage.
He might retire just because that was one thing you wanted to do on his list was win a Super Bowl. So we never know.
I don't see it. I don't see him not doing that. All right, and then offensive player of the year. Who do y'all got?
I would go offensive player of the year. I'm gonna go Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor did not get the love that he should have gotten this year. I know when it came down to MVP, they didn't even announce him in the top 4, which is sort of disrespectful to Indianapolis.
Yeah.
Because he's a monster at the running back position, but he can also play wide receiver at running back, which is something you don't see in all the running backs in the league. So I'm going to go Jonathan Taylor. Is going to have a strong season. I think he'll make a run at it. I think he'll pull it off late in the year.
I like it. I like Debo Samuel. I mean, as we know, they call him, a wide back, right? Play wide receiver, running back. He gets the ball in his hands almost every play. Dangerous on the field. Can get rack yards, of course, and running yards. So that's my opinion. I think he could easily be the offensive player of the year, especially.
It's not bad.
I mean, especially with him being we don't know who the quarterback is, right? They have to rely on him all the time, right? So I would say Debo. What about you?
I got Devontae Adams. Again, whether he stays with Rodgers or goes somewhere else, that dude is just, to me, the best route runner in the NFL. His IQ is insane. He can break down coverages like crazy. I think he's easily the best wide receiver in the league.
But you would still put him on there not knowing who his quarterback would be?
Easy, because all you gotta do is get the ball in his hands, let him work.
But you already know the chemistry between him and Aaron Rodgers. That's why he gets all up. Because they know, all right, I'm going to throw it right now. I'm going to throw it right here. I'm going to throw it.
Yeah, but I think somebody can learn that too. Again, get the ball in his vicinity.
Yeah.
I think it's a wrap. He is that electric, and he is that IQ that he knows where he needs to go, where his soft spots are, where he just needs to cut back. Yeah. Just get open. That's all he needs to do.
And then I think we'll kind of touch on offensive rookie of the years, defensive rookie of the years. I think after the draft, or a little bit after. So the last one I think we could talk about was MVP. Who do you think the MVP of is going to be next year?
I'm gonna go non-QB for the first time. I'm gonna go Nick Chubb. Nick Chubb again, a little bit biased, but I think it's biased. Wow. I think that guy is a crazy person as far as it goes. As far as again yardage, speed, power. That man has the easiest. He has his field vision is being open, finding the holes, insane. So I feel like, especially we have probably, to me, I think the best offensive line in the league. Joe Bitonio, Wyatt Teller, Jack Conklin, or Jared Willis. I think we have all these people. Adam's over here saying no because he knows that he doesn't have a running back like Nick Chubb. You damn sure don't have. Najee Harris doesn't even lick Nick Chubb's feet. That man's not even close to Nick Chubb.
What I say
so let me finish why I think he's MVP. Again, that man got hurt last season again. I think he was out for at least 6 games. Was still top 3 in rushing.
Didn't touch my
top 3
didn't touch Henry,
top 3 in rushing.
Didn't touch Henry. And Henry's out and still was held the number 1 spot for how long?
Who?
Derrick Henry.
But I don't care though. I'm talking about when it ended. Nick Chubb was number 3.
Okay.
And I think he was actually number 2 or number 3 as far as when it came to ending the season as far as rushing yards. And he was out for 6 games. So that's why I think he's going to be MVP. We can debate all that later. We don't even have to debate it. Yeah. I think we're just talking about who I think is going to be. I think it's Nick Chubb.
I love that you have an opinion on this, stupid.
So I'll go before you, Spencer. You can close it out. Just to let you know, Bryce, just since you want to.
No, we're not debating it. We're not debating it. All we're talking about is MVP.
We're not debating. He's just throwing out facts.
I'm just throwing out the stats from last season.
That's a debate.
307 attempts for 1,200 yards was Najee Harris with 7 touchdowns. Nick Chubb had 228 attempts with 1,259 yards, with 59 more yards than Najee Harris. Okay, yeah, he's on that feet right there, and he only had 8 touchdowns.
But didn't we just talk about how Nick Chubb was out for 7 games?
Yeah, that's.
Didn't we talk about that?
It's not our fault. He can't stay healthy.
It can't stay healthy. He got hurt.
It's in a debate.
How does that even make sense? Man's talking out of his ass.
I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow, and you can stay at the bottom of the division like you always do.
No,
we can debate that too.
I like Joe Burrow. I do like that. I do like that MVP. Even it's hard not to choose a quarterback as MVP. It's really hard to. I mean, I would go again, Pat Mahomes. I think again he's gonna play very good this year. Be that quarterback that he should have been last year. Like I said on our last podcast, he gets the distractions gone. I just think that team is going to flourish, of course, with Andy Reid and him. I just see him being the MVP. So,
He's gonna Corvette.
Yeah.
Trophy.
Yeah.
I think those are all good picks.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, you can kind of submit it, and then we can kind of see what happens next year as far as like whenever it actually comes out. Hopefully, everybody stays healthy, but that should be it. I mean, like that was a good episode for you guys. So you guys, thanks again for tuning in. Y'all give us some feedback. Let us know what we can do. Again, let us know the hot topic. What you guys want us to talk about. Like what you guys want to hear us talk about, argue about. You know, we can always get into a heated argument, but just give us a shout out. We're on all social medias. It's all
your friends. Tell all your friends. We're on all social medias: TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. We're on everything. Hit us up anywhere. Coming in hot. No I-N, just the N. Coming in hot. We'll be anywhere you want us to be, and we'll say anything you want us to say.
Soon we're gonna be on like your local podcast or that, like Spotify, Apple Music. Gonna come at you soon. You guys take care. Have a good one.
We try to tuning in.
I'm coming in hot.